Looks like a motorbike. Oh, it's a scooter. Scooter. This is a template I've made up already. So I guess that'll just sit out like this. And come in. We're probably safe to make this template. It's easier to oversize than undersize. Yeah, that's roughly oversized now by about that much. So that means basically what I'm planning to do is have it drop maybe half this thickness around it, just so it'll cover up any gaps, and I can pull the fabric around it so we get a good seal as well. Might be a little bit hard to see, but we've basically got that gap around it now, which is about as wide as that stick. Basically, I'm going to round the edges, pack them down with another bit of ply so that we've got 2-ply thickness, and that should cover up any gaps that we get on the frame of the scooter. So we'll go cut that out. Alright, so I've decided that the front hinge anyway, the seat should be sitting basically at the top of that bit there. I've got a few things to put on there to sort of make a platform, and then we can put that guy on there. We've got these guys here. So this is our standard bracket, and we're going to put a couple hinges up here, and then the seat will sit on top of this. So I've got that. So I've decided that we're going to put one of these on, and I still want 3 screw holes for this just going into the base of the thing pretty easily, so we're going to chuck it in something like this way. So it gives us some wider strength as well, so we're not just got that. Conveniently, there's also a screw hole here as well, which lines up with this, so we can probably just rivet that together. Alright, let's get a rivet in that guy as well. Okay, so that's that one done. So the frame will, the seat will sit just on top of here, and this will allow it to rock out. And this will give us 3 points to sort of screw in. Yeah, that's good. Alright, so I've just templated out where my old cardboard template will go. So I put the cardboard template on the scooter and then just figured out where this front bracket should sit, and I sort of marked that with a pencil, and you can see an indentation. You might not be able to see the indentation, but there's an indentation there as well of that rivet. So I know that that sits about there. I'll just put one screw in there to start off with. I want to keep the template on there just for now, because I'll punch through there and then I'll get the exact spot, and then I can screw that on and then start marking out where everything else will sit in there. So I've drilled through this cardboard here. We've got our mark there. So I'm going to be putting in relatively big screws, you know, wide ones for a better strength. Alright, see how that fits. Alright, it feels pretty centered. I'm pretty happy with that. I'll just see how it feels opening up. Okay, we've still have plenty of clearance, so that's great. Alright, so I've sort of made some pencil marks around here. Pretty happy with that, so we'll go ahead and drill those out. Hell yeah, that ain't going nowhere. Quick refit just to triple check everything. And that's sort of looking pretty good. I think we're pretty happy with that. It opens up. We're making progress! So just looking at the gap across here, and we're trying to figure out what the angle of the seat should be. I think it needs to be angled a little bit back further. I haven't finished the bracket in here yet because I wasn't sure of the height that I want the seat to be at. But I think that needs to come down a bit. By how much? It's hard to know because we've still got a clearance that we want for the center bits there, and we can't drop it down too much. I might play it by ear and start dropping this a little bit, and just to see where we can end up with it. So I've marked out where that second bracket goes, and this nook here is where we want that to be sitting. So we'll pop a screw in there, and then we'll double and triple check it, make sure everything still works. So we're going to need to unscrew one of these and then put it on. I think I'm happy with that. So we'll screw on the rest of that and lock it all up. What we'll do now with these guys is we'll just take these off, paint them up. So after making that seat base, which is under there somewhere, I've decided that I actually want treated ply. So I've gone and bought some treated ply. It's actually cheaper just to buy the treated ply rather than spending money and trying to seal and waterproof that one. I thought if you're gonna try and do a bad job of something, you might as well try and do a bad job of it once. Hence why we've got that. So I've just got that ledge there glued up. I'm just waiting for that to go off. So that'll give us a little lip, which will be good. We're getting there. Just got a few more steps to do. There's still quite a gap in the middle here, even with that drop down. Other than that, it's probably not too bad. The shape is about right. Alright, so I've leveled the bike and I've leveled the seat here. And you see there's quite a bit of a gap in there, but I reckon the solution is to continue this drop about another 20 mil, which is about 2 fingers lengths. And that'll mean that the seat will still be able to open up, and we'll probably just cover that gap there. So I've just been looking at how much I want to drop that by, and I think I can drop it by 30 mil, sorry. So that means that this will sit probably about there, which is enough open. So I've got this bit that the flatmate has kindly donated to the cause. We should be able to just tack onto the back of that guy. Right, so I've finished putting on those lips. Just waiting for these guys here to dry. It's not looking too bad. I mean, visually it doesn't look great, but it'll be covered in fabric anyway. So that gives us our required lip. Once that dries, I'll be able to fit it to the scooter and see if there's any fitment issues. Alright, I've got that seat on there now. And I'm pretty happy with the fitment. It's taken that gap out, and it does mostly fit in there. So there's just a tiny bit of adjustment, which I think is just in the corner up here and in the corner back there. You know, I'm pretty happy with how that's looking. There was a suggestion from the back benches that we sort of swoop in the bottom of it so that it comes sort of down and back up, but I think that looks fine enough as it is, and I don't really think that there is a need to do the swoop, and I think it'll look fine without it. So I think we're going to leave it like that. So what I'll do is I'll mark out the bits that I need to take out, and then we can refit that. Alright, so I've got the seat there done, and I've routed out the bottom of it so it fits nicely. So it opens up to about there. It still opens up at a good spot, I think. Still will hold its own weight, won't fall down on top of you when that closes up. There's no gap down there. I might pop some nails just through this now that this is done, just so that it gives it that sort of a bit more strength. While I'm figuring out the upholstery, I'll chuck the front end together. Still need to get a few bits like headlamp and battery, fixing up the battery box. So yeah, it's looking pretty good. Yeah, I wasn't expecting that to actually go that well. I shouldn't say that, but yeah, it's turned out alright, I think. Gotta be straight with these things. Oops. Seat does weigh a ton, but it does work. Sort of the last structural step of the seat here is to get some of the bump stops on it. I've got some rubber hoodickies in here. They're just going to go on there to provide it with a bit of padding so that it doesn't really damage the panels and the paint and whatnot. So I need to level that seat out and just figure out where exactly these guys are going to go. So I've just blocked up the seat here with some stuff underneath it. You can see it's a little bit on the angle. It's come back a shy bit amount. Under here we've got, so I was resting on one block with two 12mm sections there. So we want that just to be a little bit less than those two, which is probably works out fine, because I think what I'll do is I'll probably put a couple blocks up in the bottom of that and then just recess a little bit of it, and so I can just slide that in and glue that in there, and then that'll just probably put a couple of them along here for them to rest on. Most of it is just trying to make sure that we don't just rest on here, and having a rubber thing will make it a bit nicer. We'll stick them in just in here. Should be right along the edge there, so we might do a couple around there. I've basically cut out my little knobs. Are you allowed to say that on YouTube? Anyway, I've cut out the little blocks there. So basically we've got three positions. One here without a raise. This one's going to have 2 blocks on it, so that's 24mm. This one's going to be about a block, so that's about 12mm there, 24mm and 0mm there. And it's like that because this, like I said in other ones, it swoops up, so that's just to match that swoop. Just got those bits in there glued down now. Hopefully that's in the right spot. We'll see. Feels like it's pretty even, but that is very, very close. That bubble there is so close to the middle. So pretty happy with that. So we've got one that we reckon is going to sit about here, and then the backside one we've got a block somewhere just here. So those three are in really good spots. So we'll go ahead and glue those rubber bits in there. Got these guys glued in there now, and we'll be heading to a Wellington soon. And that'll be good because we'll see family, and more importantly, there'll also be a sewing machine there. So that will be most exciting. That means that we can start getting this guy upholstered, and then we can really see the bike, I guess, almost take its final form. Very exciting stuff. Alright, so I've had a look at this guy. I don't think I've got enough foam because this comes out by 240, 300 or 310 wide. So even if I made this in multiple sections, I've only got about 200 wide there. And I could put it out here to get the 300, but then that's only 180 length there. So that would only bring me up to about here, and then I'd need a third piece. So I could do that with this. I could cover the complete top with the 3 pieces, but then I'd have nothing for the sides. I don't know. I think I'm going to have to rethink that.
Hello, I'm Richard.
Instead of messing around with the seat that someone screwed up,
We're making alcohol.
making alcohol.
Proper alcohol, raw alcohol.
Doesn't quite drip as quickly as the roof does in the kitchen.
Don't talk about the roof. What about the new carpet in the shed and the no carpet up the other end?
Oh, well, my YouTube land don't know about that. There is a water line. Some say Silty is quite a good swimmer and might have done swimming twice. Oh, well, here we are. We're in Hamish's shed. That's Hamish. He doesn't say much, but we've got the sander. First he suggested we should have made a template and made this look nice, but also that we use the bench sander, get the curves nice in there. That's definitely better. It's not straight, but it's better.
Made a mess of my place. See you, everyone.
Alright, well, I think we can give an update for the scooter. Basically, that seat I've taken off to an upholsterer to get that done. This is on the advice of the backbenchers, you know, those back seat drivers. We'll see what the price of that is. I haven't heard anything. It's actually been with the upholsterer for a while now, but I haven't heard anything. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing that I haven't heard much, but hopefully the seat will then get done properly, which will be really good. I haven't really worked on much other parts of the bike at the moment. I haven't worked on the bike because there's been a couple of other things that I wanted to get done on it that cost a bit of moolah. There's not a lot of moolah, but you know, enough for me to be like, The two main things that I've got to do is crimp that brake cable, and I'll probably at the same time do the front one as well, because why not? But that of course means that I need to get the crimper itself, and then I obviously need the little bits for the end, so it's probably $100 job all up there. The bigger part that I want to get done is I want to convert the bike to 12 volt. It is a 6 volt bike, but the reason being is that I don't have a headlamp, and then there's other things like tail lights. I don't have a rectifier. Also, I'll need a battery, you know, and it's just also for longevity of the bike. I think putting it on 12 volts will be much better. I will obviously need new condensers though, so I'm still sort of looking into that and understanding what I need and how all that system works. But that's basically the plan. So the two main things is brakes and sorting out the full electrical system. So I've got a full electrical system. So yeah, we're waiting on the seat to get upholstered. Waiting on me to research and buy the 12 volt stuff, and tools for the brake cables. But yeah, apologies for not having a video out in a while. Been sort of, yeah, working through it. It is obviously a long episode, so hopefully that makes up for it in some ways. Leave you guys with that, and I'll catch you guys next time. Thanks so much for watching.
Looks like a motorbike. Oh, it's a scooter.
Scooter.